Hey, it's Dr. Omama, host of Egg Me Sperm, and this is the best podcast to get all of the vital information that you need to support your fertility journey holistically for you and your partner, because fertility takes two. Today, we're talking about something that might be keeping you up at night: low ovarian reserve. If you've been told that your AMH is low, or you're just worried about your egg counts, this video could change everything for you. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Dr. Omatma, and in this channel, we support you with giving you the best fertility knowledge and tips so that you can improve your fertility and be empowered to make the right choices for your family. Let's get into it. Stop everything and watch this video before you spend another dollar on random fertility supplements. I'm about to share what most fertility doctors won't tell you about ovarian reserve. And no, this is not just another take more CoQ10 videos. See these lab results? This is from a patient who had an AMH of 0.1, who was told that she would never conceive naturally, not with her own eggs. 6 months later, well, stick around to see what happened. After helping thousands of women with low ovarian reserve and analyzing every published study on egg quality improvement, I've discovered something shocking. The conventional approach is missing 3 critical factors that could make or break your fertility journey. First, let's break down what's really happening with your eggs. You're born with all of the eggs that you'll ever have, about 1 to 2 million. By puberty, that number drops to about 300,000. But here's what your doctor might not have told you. The number of eggs isn't nearly as important as the quality. Think of it like this. Would you rather have 20 fresh, perfectly ripe apples or 100 bruised ones? I think we know the answer to that. Drop a apple emoji in the comments if this analogy just made everything click for you. Now, let's talk about those fertility tests and what might be freaking you out. Anti-Müllerian hormone, AMH, and what this number actually means. So the normal ranges of AMH are considered optimal over 1.06, and below 1.06 is not good. Usually by the time it's below 0.5 ng per ml, it's considered less than optimal, and by the time it gets below 0.3, most doctors tell women there is going to be no chance to use their own eggs in getting pregnant, even if they do IVF. So let's actually take a step back and talk about what this number means, why age matters, and what are the other factors that are actually going to help you understand what's happening in your body. So first and foremost, this number, anti-Müllerian hormone, this value, was found as part of IVF. What they realized was that if a woman had an AMH above 1.06 ng per ml, she would have good fertility outcomes on IVF studies, on IVF protocols. But if her number was below 1.06, then the likelihood that that IVF cycle would go well was going to be a lot lower. Unfortunately, this got taken out of context, and we started telling women that they have low chances of fertility just because they have an AMH that's below 1.06. The problem with this is because it doesn't take anything else into account. So when AMH is below 1.06, but the woman is under 35 or even under 40, I think that that number matters way less. Now, if your number is below 1.06, but you're over 40, then this is not going to be relevant for you. Other things are happening in the body. You might actually have very low ovarian reserve. And unfortunately, if you're getting close to that perimenopause, menopause time, there may not be a way to reverse it. However, I want to talk to you if you're below the age of 40 and still struggling with low ovarian reserve or diminished ovarian reserve, or sometimes called premature ovarian insufficiency. All of these terms are used somewhat interchangeably and aren't telling us the full picture. So here's what else matters. If your AMH is below, let's say 3. That is usually my cutoff. 0.3 ng per ml. If you're below that point, then we really have to consider whether you have true premature ovarian insufficiency, which is basically early menopause, or if something else is happening in your body. And there could be a lot of things happening that cause this AMH number to look low when in fact you have plenty of eggs. So it's not so simple. The field is very murky in terms of everything else that you want to look at. What I consider outside of AMH is also FSH and LH. These two hormones are actually made in the brain, and these two hormones are indicators of whether or not ovarian reserve is actually low. So if your FSH is below 7, but your AMH is low, then you likely do not have premature ovarian insufficiency. Something else is going on. If your FSH is above 10 or 12 and your AMH is low, then you may actually have ovarian insufficiency. So it's really important to parse through the numbers and not just focus on AMH, but look at it in the full context of what's happening. Your age matters, FSH and LH matter, as well as the AMH. Consider all of these when you are considering whether or not to believe the advice that you're getting from your conventional doctors. Here is the truth. I have seen women with levels of 0.3 AMH, or actually a few with even lower than that, conceive naturally, while others that have seemingly perfect levels of AMH are still struggling. Why is this? Well, because AMH is just one piece of the puzzle. Comment your AMH level below if you're comfortable sharing. I read every comment and I'll respond with personalized suggestions for you. Here are 3 critical factors that your doctor probably isn't testing. Number 1 is oxidative stress levels. Think of your eggs like apples. Exposure to air, oxidative stress, can make them brown. But unlike apples, we can protect our eggs from this damage. Number 2, mitochondrial function. This is the powerhouse. Mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell. And interestingly, mitochondria in egg as well as sperm are about 200 times anywhere else in the body. Basically saying that your reproductive system needs 200 times the mitochondrial function of an average cell in your body that is not a reproductive cell. Your eggs need energy to function properly. Without it, even a genetically perfect egg won't develop properly. And last but not least, blood flow to your ovaries. Your eggs need oxygen and nutrients. Poor blood flow is like trying to water a plant with a kinked hose. Now for the part that you've been waiting for, the exact protocol that has helped women with low AMH levels conceive naturally. Let's break this 3-part protocol down that's backed by reproductive science. Antioxidant support should happen first thing in the morning and with some healthy fats. CoQ10, for example, or the better form, which is ubiquinol, is going to be better absorbed with good healthy fats. Regular CoQ10 only has about 10% absorption, while ubiquinol has 98% absorption rates. That's the difference between wasting your money and actually supporting your eggs. Now, screenshot the next part because the numbers here matter. You're going to do 600 milligrams ubiquinol with breakfast, 300 to 600 IUs of mixed tocopherols. That's a specific kind of vitamin E that, again, is better than conventional vitamin E. And then 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. This is a good general protocol, but it's really important to note that you may need to customize this protocol based on your nutritional needs. So this works for a generic thing on the internet, but I'm not your doctor. I'm not telling you to take these supplements. And you should really consult with a practitioner if you want a specific personalized plan for you. But here's the key that most people miss. You must take all of these with a fat. A spoon of almond butter or half an avocado will actually boost absorption by 65%. Now, let's talk about movement. But forget everything you've heard about intense exercise for fertility. Here's what actually works. A few minutes in the morning of a good fertility yoga flow is a really great way to get your body flowing, moving, and getting that blood flow and circulation happening that is crucial for your fertility. In the afternoon, a 10 to 15-minute walk after lunch is a really great way to get your blood flowing, as well as get some extra sunshine, which is crucial to helping support your circadian rhythm, which then supports your hormone health. A nice, healthy walk will increase blood flow to your ovaries by 27%. Next is mitochondrial support. Your cells need energy, and timing is everything. Here's your daily fueling plan. 2 Brazil nuts for selenium, a blueberry smoothie, and a spinach omelet for breakfast for folate. For lunch, you could maybe have salmon, wild salmon for omega-3s, avocado for healthy fats, and maybe some green leafy vegetables for more folate. For dinner, you may consider a plate full of complex, unprocessed carbohydrates, leafy greens, maybe a sweet potato with a side of greens is a really great way to end the day with something that will support not only your nutrition, but also your sleep. And we're going right into sleep, which is the most crucial thing. Your egg cells repair between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That means you need to be asleep during this window. There are no exceptions to this. This is literally when the magic happens. So let's recap the daily protocol. Morning antioxidants with fats, time gentle movement, and strategic nutrient pairing, and ending your day with sleep optimization. This is the key. The key to all of this is consistency. This isn't going to be a quick fix. Give it at least 90 days. Your eggs take about that long to mature, so you need to support them through the entire cycle. Now that you have the protocol, let me show you how to track your progress. What you want to look for is changes in your sleep pattern, your energy, and or your menstrual cycles. All of these are going to reflect whether or not what you're doing is working for your body. Also, my favorite way to track hormones is basal body temperature tracking. And if you haven't seen our videos on that, make sure to head over and find that video on basal body temperature tracking and everything that it tells you. Now, remember that patient I mentioned earlier with the AMH of 0.1 ng per ml? Well, she followed this protocol for 6 months. By the end of the 6 months, her hormones were optimized. Believe it or not, her AMH did not budge. It stayed at 0.1, which to me was kind of surprising because for a 32-year-old, I actually did expect that AMH to go up a little bit. But it all worked out because literally 2 weeks after her lab tests, she announced that she was pregnant. What? That was literally amazing for someone who had been to 3 different IVF clinics and been told the same thing, that she would never be able to conceive with her own eggs and that she would need an egg donor for sure. Now, let's put all of this together into a daily plan that you can actually follow. When you wake up in the morning, step outside within the first 30 minutes of waking up to get sunlight hitting your eyes. If you wake up when it's still dark, you can mimic that natural sunlight with full spectrum artificial light. Then you take your specific supplements with your breakfast in the morning and make sure you start your day with protein. In the afternoon, make sure to not skip your meals. Rather, eat your high protein and vegetable meal and then follow it up with a 10 to 15-minute walk outdoors getting some sunshine. In the evening, you can consume complex carbohydrates along with loads of veggies and stack that with a good sleep regimen. So, a good wind down ritual in about an hour before bed is to turn off all the blue light, i.e., screens, your phone, your TV, your computer, etc. Get a fertility boosting tea blend. One of my favorite tips is to use a powder of organic ashwagandha root, combine it with warm nut milk and a couple of drops of stevia to make a really delicious drink that's going to support your vitality, support your sleep, support your hormones, and boost your fertility. It's pretty incredible. And ashwagandha has to be, hands down, one of my favorite herbs for fertility. And then, light stretching or meditation is a really great way to end your day. Make sure that you've prepared your room for sleep with a cool environment, about 68 degrees Fahrenheit, complete darkness, and no electronics. If you have a phone in your room, make sure you put that phone in airplane mode, turn off notifications, do everything you can to shut off all of the EMFs coming off of your phone, especially when you're in your bed trying to sleep. I've created a free fertility blueprint with all of the info that you need to get started. Click the link in the description below to download it. If you want more evidence-based fertility tips like this one, hit the subscribe and the notification bell. I release new research breakdowns every Thursday. And leave your biggest question about fertility below. Remember, low ovarian reserve is not a dead end. It's just a roadmap for what your body needs. See you in the next video. Peace. If you love this episode, show us some love. And if you would love to leave me a voice memo, tell me what you love, what you hate, and what questions you have that you would like me to answer on Egg Me Sperm. We're doing that all season long. So send me a memo, let me know what you love, let me know what needs improvement, and most of all, send me your questions.